Business owners are wasting hundreds of hours creating content on YouTube that gets 0 views and generates 0 leads. If that sounds something like you, you're probably making one of these 5 mistakes that I'm going to cover in this video. So let's break them down and exactly how to fix them. By the way, if you're interested, you can get this full document for free in the description. No sign-ups, nothing like that. Just if you want to follow along or look at it in more detail. So starting off with mistake number 1, the first and the biggest mistake business owners make is creating content that has no chance of converting viewers into clients. Here's what they do wrong. They create generic how-to content that attracts tire kickers and freebie seekers rather than qualified prospects with the buying intent. For example, if you're a Facebook ad agency, making a video called 5 Facebook ad tips for beginners will attract beginners with no budget, not business owners ready to hire an agency. Whilst yes, this does get views on YouTube, anything that you do for beginners gets a load of views. If that is not who you're targeting, you're going to get a lot of views, but no one to buy from it. So, really think about who your target audience is. If it's not beginners, probably would not recommend to do something like this. So how do you fix this? Instead, create content that specifically targets your ideal clients. At the moment, they're actually looking for a solution like yours. For example, instead of 5 Facebook ad tips for beginners, why most Facebook ad agencies fail to deliver results and what to look for instead, and what revenue should a business hire a Facebook ads agency, and how much should you budget your Facebook ads in 2025. This is just a few examples of how to improve a title rather than that attracts your target audience if you're looking for higher ticket clients, right? These topics attract viewers who are already considering hiring someone like you. They're just really evaluating the options and looking for a bit more solutions to their problems before they realize, if they're not at this stage yet, that hiring someone who's a professional is just better, and then they will come to you. So mistake number 1 is creating content that simply does not convert, which moves us on swiftly to mistake number 2. The second major mistake is ignoring how YouTube actually works as a search engine. What most business owners do wrong is that they create content based solely on what they want to talk about, with no research into their potential clients are actually searching for. And this is how you fix it. Before creating any video, you need to research keywords your ideal clients are actually searching for, check the search volume and competition for these keywords, look at what's already ranking for these terms, and create content that directly addresses those searches, but with your unique expertise. So this has to do with going on a platform like vidIQ, searching keywords in there, looking through YouTube, and doing a whole bunch of research prior to actually making your video, which I know a lot of business owners are not doing, right? And this highly affects how well your video is doing. So mistake number 2 is completely neglecting YouTube pre-research. You need to do research prior to making your videos if you want it to be successful. It's not good enough anymore. YouTube is too good, and there's too many people on YouTube to just create a video and post it and hope to get good results. Yes, you might get a fluke where every now and then you might get a video that does really well, but overall you want to do a lot of research before making your video. So make sure that you do this, right? Moving on to mistake number 3. The third mistake is neglecting both the structural elements of your video content and the critical packaging that makes viewers click in the first place. What most business owners get wrong is they create rambling videos with no clear direction and completely ignore the importance of thumbnails, titles, and professional editing. They use generic thumbnails, vague titles, and their videos look amateur compared to their professional business image. So how do you fix this? You need to know both the structure and the packaging. Here's a clear structure for your video: a hook that states the problem and promises a solution, the first 15 seconds, a roadmap of what the video will cover, the next 15 seconds, not always essential, but important to have there. With the hook, I've gone through this before, is you want to include proof, proof, pain, and promise, right? The 3 P's, all right? What pain are you solving? What proof do you have that you can solve it? And what promise are you giving them that they're going to get at the end of the video, right? And make them really consider, what do they get out of watching this video? Why should they watch this video? You need to put all this into the first 15, maximum 20 seconds, ideally, to keep them watching all the way until the end, right? And then valuable content that solves a problem. That should be the body of your video. So what is the problem? How are you solving it? Why are you solving it? Etc. Right? And then a clear call to action that feels like the logical next steps. Not always a hard sell. Sometimes hard sells do work. Does depend on who your target audience is. You can literally tell them, book a call if you want to do this. But a lot of the time, make it seem like the logical next step for your viewer, right? And then in terms of packaging, thumbnails, right? You want to create a high contrasting easy to read thumbnail with clear text that triggers curiosity. A good thumbnail should make your ideal client think, I need to know this, / I need to watch this. Write your title. Your title should contain searchable keywords while clearly communicate, I can't speak today, the specific value your videos provide. Avoid vague titles like business tips in favor of specific ones like 5 client acquisition strategies for service-based businesses in 2025, right? Your title and the thumbnail should work together to ask a question that can only be answered through clicking on your video. The more curiosity you can cause, the more specific it is, the more the person feels like it's towards them, the more likely they are to click. So this takes a lot of time, like the pre-research, to do to make sure it gets right. And it takes a lot of testing, right? Don't be scared to test things to see what works better. And then editing. Professional editing signals credibility. You don't need fancy edits, right? You don't need this whole imangaji kind of editing. You don't need to do all these kind of animations popping up around the screen. But you do need clear audio, good lighting, clean cuts, and a professional intro to outro that matches your brand, right? The cleaner it is, the better it looks, the more professional it looks. And if it does have nice editing with it as well, then it does help. But do really focus on this. Don't have, rubbish quality, especially rubbish audio. It's super easy to fix audio with AI these days. Adobe Podcast Online is super easy. Fix your audio just like that. Takes a few seconds. So make sure to have good audio, and lighting is super easy. And don't have an unnecessarily long video when you can just cut out simple mistakes that you make along the way. So really focus on that. It makes the view experience a lot better. Remember, even the best content won't get views if the packaging doesn't entice clicks, and a great looking video won't convert if the structure doesn't guide viewers to take action. So this is all really important to kind of go through before consider before actually filming your video, right? And then so mistake number 3 is poor video structure and packaging. Moving on to mistake number 4. The fourth mistake is sporadic uploading that kills any momentum. What most businesses do wrong is they publish one video, get disappointed with the results, then either quit entirely or upload randomly whenever they, have time, or not even just 1, 2, 3, 4. It can even be 6, right? Brand new channel, 6 uploads, they don't see any results, so they completely stopped. How do you actually fix this? YouTube rewards consistency above almost anything else, right? You need a realistic publishing schedule. Weekly is ideal, but bi-weekly is better than random. A content calendar with topics planned at least 1 month in advance, and a streamlined production process that does not eat up your entire time, right? Content calendar a month in advance might be a bit ahead, because sometimes there's certain things on YouTube that start, popping off or doing well that you want to kind of get into straight away. So do remember that if you're planning into a month in advance. Weekly is ideal. I would highly recommend weekly or once every 5 days, which is 6 videos a month, right? Bi-weekly is better than random, but I'll still highly recommend a bit more. Remember, 4 decent videos published continuously will perform 1 perfect video followed by weeks of silence, right? And this is specifically for business owners, agency owners who are making content on YouTube to sell their service, not to these massive entertainment, but it's a bit different. The more money, time, and effort you put into a video, the more spectacular it is, the more results you're going to see. With sort of business and agency owners, you want to be doing consistent uploads with different pain points every single week to get more clients coming in to you, right? So really think about and consider how much videos you're putting out. If you're putting 1 video every month, you're not going to see massive results, right? So mistake number 4 is inconsistent publishing. And yes, YouTube does reward consistency, especially if you're a brand new channel, right? You need to understand who your videos are for and who to push them to before you can start doing anything, getting any crazy results. So do stay consistent, and then you're going to eventually, I promise you, if done right, which is important, you will see results, okay? And then mistake number 5, the 5th and most critical mistake, is trying to be a 1-person production team when you should be running your main business, right? What most business owners do wrong, they spend 10 hours per week researching, scripting, filming, editing, optimizing videos, time that should be spent on high value business activity. That's if they even do this, right? The other option is that they getting the camera, recording a video, and posting it straight away. Takes them 15 minutes. Yes, they're reducing their time, but they're not getting any results, and they wonder why. Well, that is the reason why, because they're not putting their 10 hours into this, which they shouldn't be anyway. So now how do you feel? So you really have 2 options. You actually dramatically simplify your production process, simply talking head videos, women website. And when I mean that is, a lot of this time goes into the research, scripting, right? The editing and optimizing, the editing takes a lot of time if you want to edit it properly. But this research, scripting, and and the film, not really film, but the research and scripting is what really takes up a lot of the time. And you want to, option number 2 is to outsource this. Once you start simplifying your process, you're just lowering the quality of videos, which in the long run is going to hurt your YouTube success, right? So the most successful business owners on YouTube have a system where they approve video topics. They spend 15 to 20 minutes recording from a prepared script and let someone else handle everything else. I want to say prepared scripts, everyone likes to do scripts differently. Some people just want a hook and then they have a presentation, a whiteboard presentation, a Loom presentation. Some people want bullet points where they can easily just read off and kind of, bounce ideas in their head, which then they share. And some people prefer a more full-on script, but it all depends on what you prefer. And right, but this just simplifies everything for you. All you have to do is record that one script, right, approve some ideas, and then from that you will have essentially YouTube content being pushed out for you without taking up any of time. And it means it's more higher quality, since if you outsource into an agency that does this, like mine, right, link in the description, then you will see much better results, as they should realistically know what they're doing, right? So this is how you create consistent high quality content without sacrificing your core business. And ideally, the main thing about this is you still have time, a lot of time, all your time, to run your core business whilst being able to pump out YouTube content consistently, right? And that is probably the biggest, or one of the biggest advantage, on top of getting the quality content being pushed out, that's bringing you the quality clients as well. So mistake number 5 is that you're trying to do everything yourself. Start outsourcing. I promise you it will be worth it. Not just because I do it, but it's just the truth, right? So that's essentially it. That's the 5 mistakes that business owners are making. Mistake number 1 is creating content that doesn't convert. Mistake number 2, neglecting your YouTube pre-research. Mistake number 3 is poor video structure and packaging. Mistake number 4 is inconsistent publishing. And then mistake number 5 is trying to do everything yourself. If you want to see the next steps, then check the document in the description down below. You can come here, click on this little arrow, it's going to take you towards the next step that is the most optimal for you and where you are at with your business and YouTube, right? If you are a business or agency owner, you do want to learn more about what we can do for you and how to essentially fix all these mistakes for you whilst taking up none of your time, then you can book in a call down below. If you do want to watch another one of our videos, watch this one on the screen, where it's a live training of YouTube keyword research, where you can see the exact process that we take from mistake number 2, right? How to do the pre-research live, literally step by step. So watch that now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.